Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, today I'm talking about the 5 secrets to sing better and hit better high notes consistently. Isn't that what we want? So important to be able to count on those notes. You know, I was just listening to Christina Aguilera and Ray talking about it. I can't remember whose channel it's on Instagram, but it's a good conversation. And, you know, sometimes when I'm talking about these things, people think, oh, that's for beginner singers. Not at all. It's like, it's the profession, right? It's the profession. So what I want to do today is give you some of the little known master secrets to singing better high notes. You know, you can look on YouTube and you know, you can hit Grok or you can hit AI and you can get some answers that's really just going to pull from material that's already out there. But a lot of people don't necessarily talk about the kinds of methods that I use. So I'm going to share them with you. And I hope that it helps you sing your heart out and impress your audience and be able to hit those notes with consistency. So the first thing is the larynx pull down I'm going to talk about, and I use that inside my Cole vocal method. I start that in the singer's gift. Oh, thank you for all the love over there, Miss Dory. Thank you for all the love. I see Carolyn, I see Garrison, I see Cecilia. Thanks for coming, guys. So number 1 is the larynx pull down. So, and I'm going to show it to you. Number 2 is the whole idea about keeping your chin level and not reaching up as you're going for high notes. And you really have to look in the mirror because a lot of people don't think they're doing it, but they are. They are lifting. And it's because the body wants to use the back of the neck. We'll talk about that. Number 3 is how to open your throat before a phrase. So in my Cole vocal method, we really work on onset to be able to, and I'm going to show you a neat little trick for opening the throat and how we connect it to the breath. So it's one motion. And then we talk about number 4 is reaching down for high notes, like an elevator as it lifts has a heavy weight pulling it down. We're going to talk about that and how to do that. And then also number 5 would be drinking the tone. So drinking the tone is a movement that really helps you to think of the sound coming inward instead of pushing the sound outward. Okay, so number 1, the larynx pull down. So before singing, it really helps to open up your throat muscles. And consequently, right before singing, before a gig, you know, there's a lot of preparation. There's a lot of extra nervousness, anticipation, excitement. Call it excitement or call it nervousness. That's the same thing. Anxiety, nervousness, excitement. They're the same kinds of feelings. You know, the heartbeat is racing. It's harder to get your breath, harder to stay grounded. So singers really work in their training to get control of their breath and stay grounded. But this little trick in opening the throat before you sing really helps. And we do this with our larynx pull down self-massage movement. The position of the larynx affects vocal production quite a bit. You shouldn't be thinking about it. You should never be thinking about where your larynx is as you're singing. It's not something that you can control from the exterior. But when you're training, we train as singers in my Cole vocal method. As you ascend in pitch, the larynx tends to get pushed upwards, and then that destabilizes the voice. And untrained singers have less control of this, and then they fall back into their throat, ruining their voice. In a well-trained voice, this movement is minimized, providing a more stable or deeper bed for the larynx, allowing for more resistance of the increase in air pressure. And that really creates more consistency and smoother register shifts. So this is a little thing that you can do before you sing just to help get the larynx in a bit of a deeper bed. So go ahead and put your finger at the top of your throat here and swallow. Did you see how that moved up? The throat moved up, right? Now begin a yawn. You see how the throat slips down. Okay. Now I'm going to do another little trick because I'm not a huge fan of the yawn, because the yawn's a little confusing because the full yawn creates tension, right? So we really just want that very beginning of the yawn when you're letting go. But there's a movement that we do every single day that mimics that motion, that makes it easier. So I want you to bring an imaginary glass of water to your lips and pretend to drink. Keep your finger here at the top of the throat as you do it and pretend to drink. Do you feel the throat slip down in the back? That's a much better motion. Okay. Now we're going to add the larynx pull down to it. So if you put your fingers on either side, so the laryngeal muscles are housed inside the thyroid cartilage, which is really like a butterfly shaped cartilage that the vocal folds are sitting horizontal, attached at the front, and they V out in the back. And the thyroid cartilage really protects the vocal folds, right? Well, we want to get a little bit of a deeper bed. So that imaginary glass of water really helps on the inhale to get that to drop. But we also may want to do a little massage here to even help more. So if you put your fingers at the top of the throat, there's a little floating bone called the hyoid bone. And you can, sometimes it's really easy to find. It's just at the top of the throat. You push on one side and you feel it. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. And you can feel it, right? So kind of right around there, maybe right on top of it, depending where your hyoid bone is, or right underneath it. And you put your thumb and your forefinger and your third finger. You can even use your fourth finger here, and do that imaginary drinking. It slips down and then you pull it down. Right? And do that again. And pull it down. And what that helps to do is it helps to actually stretch some of those muscles out that are too tight. Like this area gets very tight, particularly on singers that sing regularly, but also on singers that don't sing regularly, because the area is unused. So it can very easily accumulate tension, and that will help. We practice that motion inside the Singer's Gift warm-ups, which is part 1 of the Cole vocal method. If you want to dive into that, you can see that on my shop on caricole.com or all the links. Number 2 is keeping the chin down. So this is an instant fix that will help you sing high notes with more fullness and consistency. So one of the biggest mistakes that singers make when singing high notes is lifting the chin up. Right? And when the chin lifts up, look what happens to the back of the neck. Does it get shorter? Is the back of the neck getting shorter, right? So when that back of the neck gets shorter, it pulls the palate down, which we need to be in a higher position to really open up those high notes. So that's a quick fix that you can do as you're singing. So when you notice yourself, when you're going for a high note, reaching up, keep your chin level or slightly pointed down, and it will keep that soft palate lifted. It will keep the back of the throat open where the high notes can resonate more fully. Number 3, open your throat before a phrase, and get your questions ready, because in about 10 minutes, I'll open it up to you guys. So this is an opportunity to ask me any question, and I'll let you know when to put that in the comments. So number 3, open your throat before a phrase. So we were talking about that motion of, that drinking motion, right? Of the throat opening. And we do that every single day. We go to drink water, we go to drink tea. Even when we eat, right, we're like opening the back of the mouth. Some people have tighter area back there. They have a gag reflex, which is really just a very tightened area. And it would really help you to work on stretching the tongue, which we do in our technique, and working with a physical therapist to decrease tension back there. Even acupuncture can really get rid of that tension that is accumulating back there. So opening the throat before the phrase, one of the movements I teach inside my Cole vocal method, is a motion that opens the throat before every phrase. So once it's learned, it becomes automatic and creates a freer, more open sound that the singer that can then sing better high notes and access range with more ease and consistency because they're starting the phrase with a more open throat. So again, vocal teachers usually try teaching this using the yawn, but the yawn has its problems because the full yawn is a tense motion that tightens the throat. So I found a better way with a more natural motion, this bringing imaginary cup to the lips as if to drink. Put your finger here at the top of your throat, and you can feel the throat slip down, right? So we want to combine that with the breath, right? So imagine that just try inhaling gently a couple of times with this motion. And when you inhale, feel the ribs move. So I was doing this motion. So the ribs are very important, and we get into that. You can watch my mini voice lessons on diaphragmatic breathing. But a very little known conversation about diaphragmatic breathing has to do with the lower rib cage expanding. Most people go to the belly and they're not moving the ribs, and then the diaphragm doesn't get a full descent. Okay, number 4. Is this good? Give me some thumbs up or some hearts. Are you feeling this? Is this useful information? How are you guys doing today? Give me a little pulse. Give me a little temperature. Number 4 is thinking down for higher notes. So think of your voice like an elevator. As an elevator lifts, there's a very heavy cable pulling it downward so that elevator can rise up through the floors. This is a weighted movement of your high notes. Similarly, as the elevator lowers, the cable lifts upwards. These are your lower notes. We want to take the pressure off for the lower notes, and we want to add some weight for the higher notes to be able to, what we call anchoring them, have more laryngeal resistance and anchor those notes so the larynx doesn't pop up and fly away and we have no control. Okay. So just sing a 2-note scale for a second on let's use a UH. And I'm going to have you put your hand out in front of you. And for the second note, I want you to imagine your throat is opening and the note is dropping. Oh, I don't have my piano on. Okay. So we're just going to sing, let me start here. And use a little bit of a deeper sound. So your hand's in front of you and you're bringing that hand towards you, reaching down inside the body, weighting that note. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, so take a nice breath, drop the larynx, and sorry, I can't sing today, guys. I'm getting over this cold and my voice is just acting weird. I'll try it again. So we're singing. We're imagining that second note reaching down, thinking of the throat opening and the note reaching downward as if you are singing a lower note. Did anyone achieve that? Did anyone get that feeling? Let me turn the piano on and try it again. Let's see if we can get you guys actually feeling that. Come on, piano. There we go. Okay. So we're singing with a deeper sound. And then pull your hand, reaching in and down for the second note, as if it's a lower note. Okay. This starts the process of anchoring the laryngeals, keeping the voice more open on the higher note. Try it again. Could you guys feel that? Isn't that interesting? Okay, so that higher note, okay, it's not so hard here with a second interval. We go to a third interval, we go to a fifth interval, we go to an octave. We have more trouble being able to anchor that note, but we work on it. But first you need to feel it within that second interval because it's closer and you can actually feel it. And did you notice how you had more sound on that second note because you weren't tightening or reaching up? It really messes with singers' minds. Okay, number 5 is to pull the sound inward. Singers are so focused on getting the sound up and out. And there's a lot of techniques or teachers that talk a lot about the mask or pushing the sound forward, bringing the sound forward in the mask. I don't use those techniques because they are secondary techniques that can interfere and cause more tension and cause the singer to tighten up and think this way. And I have to push it up. Oh, I got to get it in the mask, when really we need the chin down and this more relaxed to create more resonance, right? And when you're singing more correctly, it is ringing here, but it's really more straight up, because when we go forward, we can very easily get nasal. So it's a quick trick to get people out of their throat, but it's not lasting. It's not a real technique. So as singers are so focused on getting the sound up and out, they often make the mistake of pushing the air out, especially when they want to project or sing loudly. As a result, they end up straining, falling back on the throat, ruining their voice. So a way to avoid that is to use the visual image of the sound coming towards you to create more resonance and fullness. Just like when we kept the chin down and when we reach down for that second note, we're opening the throat on the second note, creating more resonance. So you can kind of see where this is going. We need to think of, as we're singing a phrase, for example, like as I'm singing, again, we're going to put the hand out in front of us and we're going to bring it towards us as if the sound is coming in on UH. And I'm going to start, sorry, voice is like not functioning today. Been coughing like crazy. As you bring it towards you, we're starting at a softer sound, not so loud. And then I'm pulling the sound in. Okay. Let's do it here. And and pulling it towards you. Okay. Let's try it again. Imagine it coming towards you, right? And we keep the chin down. And so when you're performing, my microphone's not here, the other mic, the stage mic. So you want this feeling of instead of right? To achieve more sound, to achieve more. Thank you. I got all the things. I got all the things. To achieve more sound, to achieve more resonance. This area, it's kind of like a bell. Here's another visual idea. Okay. So the voice is like a bell. When it's free, when this area from the collarbones up, the head is sitting back over the shoulders, and this area is free, the voice will ring, it will resonate. But when it's tight, it won't. So the tension in the muscles, the forward head motion, not thinking down, thinking up, all of these things create more strain and tension. Okay. So these are some tips, and you'll find them over on the blog. And if you want the blog in your inbox, join us, opt in on caricole.com, and you'll get that weekly blog in your inbox as well. So let's go to questions. So anybody have any questions in particular that you'd like to ask a celebrity and holistic vocal coach? These, some of these, because there's a lot of confusing information out there, right? In techniques. And, I come from a very, very solid technique that's based in opera and based in biomechanics and vocal science. So it's very, very thorough and very true, right? And you'll find a lot of techniques inside the Cole Vocal Method that are not offered anywhere else. Oh, you're welcome. Let me just see. I think there's a question over here. Thank you for all you do, Cari. If you are using proper technique, is it normal to experience a vocal swelling after long shows? Yes, absolutely. So Dr. Peek Wu, who is a ENT otolaryngologist, he's also the inventor of the stroboscopy that takes pictures of the larynx. He says that the amount of pressure that you should feel on the voice. Imagine this is a straw and it's filled with 2 inches of water. So that weight of the 2 inches of water, which is like nothing, is the amount of pressure you should feel at the throat when you're singing correctly. Now, that doesn't happen in contemporary singing. There's a lot more pressure that ensues. And the 45-minute vocal set is really equivalent to a linebacker, like the wear and tear on the body in a 2-hour football game. You know, the vocal muscles and folds are small and they swell with singing. So in my method, we have cool down exercises that take the swelling down on the edges that you do post show. I'm just starting out singer songwriter looking to get into vocal lessons. Oh, good. Okay. And then all the methodologies of the massage and helping to, the larynx pull down, massaging back and forth, going for massage and body work, going for acupuncture, like for a professional singer that is using their voice in a professional capacity on a regular basis. Body work, massage, and acupuncture are not a luxury. They are a necessity to keep your voice functioning properly. And then the right technique that has conditioning, like my Cole vocal method, has conditioning inside of it. Hey, Cake Skidmore. How much time is needed each day to keep moving forward with voice development? It's a minimum of 20 minutes a day. Yeah, so my method is organized in 20-minute segments. And it's proven that 20 minutes a day using the right techniques get a result. And then if you have extra time, you have extra time. But those 20 minutes, 5 days a week, you will be moving towards your goal. And then for professional singers, who are really working on it, they're going up to 40, 45 minutes or so, 50 minutes. Marie says, what are your thoughts on the vocal mist? Yes. It's okay. It's okay. I have my nebulizer that I use. The only thing that I don't love about this, which is the same as the vocal mist, basically, is that they're not warm, right? So when you're steaming, warm steam is going to get, not hot, but warm steam is going to slough the mucus off on the cords, if that's the issue that you're having and why you want to use it, or just for hydration in general. But it's okay. I use the nebulizer with hydrogen peroxide and saline, but I make my own saline solution. I don't use pre-made saline solutions because they put other stuff in it. I don't know what that is. It's just should be just salt. You can find how to use hydrogen peroxide to help with respiratory issues from Dr. Mercola. He has videos on the dosage and how to use it. Phil says, I play 3 to 4 hour gigs with breaks for the past 5 years. Any tip for longevity? Do you mean endurance? Do you mean endurance for the show or over time? Let me know what you think, Phil. Mark says, I rarely have enough time in the morning to do conditioning. Will doing it at night after a day of talking help as much? Yes, absolutely. Just get it in. Don't worry about when. Vocals. What do you mean vocals? Tips for longevity. What do you mean? Are you practicing a method? Are you practicing a real technique like my Cole vocal method? The answer to longevity is vocal technique and pedagogy and singing correctly. Yeah, and learning how to warm up correctly, learning how to condition the voice, learning how to voice build, all of those kinds of things is the answer. Warm-ups are good, but they're not the answer to real longevity. Warm-ups are great. I mean, they really help. But you want to get into the master vocal exercises, which is part 3. Part 1 of the Cole vocal method is the warm-up, singer's gift. Part 2 is the vocal rescue kit, which has the conditioning exercises, the vocal therapy, and speaking exercises in them. Part 3 is the vocal voice building, the masters. And the masters are where you do the real work. And that's taught inside the Vocal Freedom Circle. And you can write into our team to get a discount. They'll give you a discount. So it's $397 and it's 8 full modules. And it comes with a free monthly class with me. We meet on Zoom in a private setting and I answer questions. And then part 4 is the fundamentals where we work on specific. And then parts 5 through 8 are taught in level 3, which is the vocal mastery program, which we're most likely going to do in October again. However, you have to have done the Vocal Freedom Circle to get into that second level. Anybody else, any questions? These are good questions today, guys. Really good questions. But yeah, if you really want your voice to last, you need a serious technique to be able to sing correctly. You know, I often meet singers in their 40s or 50s that never really did that kind of work, and now their voice is breaking down. And it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen at all. And you can get it back completely. All right. Well, join me every Wednesday at the live stream at 12 p.m. Eastern, where I talk about voice and artist development and career. And then you can watch all of the past live streams over on YouTube. If you just go to the live page, you'll see all of them. And then sign up for my Better Voice Challenge, which is free. It's a 4 one-hour workshops that walk you through my release sequence. You won't believe the difference in your voice, and it's free. I watched Billy Corgan on Joe Rogan a few days ago. He says it's a blend of vocal lessons and techniques with finding what sounds good for your voice, which is also improper use as well. Yep, very much. Yeah. Well, you're welcome. Thanks for joining me. And if there's another question, I'll take it before I head out. And then I need to nurse my voice. I know all the things. I have all the things. This just snuck up on me, this thing. What is the free class? Here, I'll give you the link. It is the Better Voice Challenge. Here is the link. I'll put it over on... I just added the link on YouTube. I don't have a cut and paste over on Instagram, but if you just go to our link tree, you'll see Better Voice Challenge. It's the free 4-hour. Yep, that is the free 4-hour. So I did 4 days in a row. We send an email once a day, but you get access to the whole thing. So you can blow through it if you want. Or you can pace yourself and do an hour a day. It's phenomenal. You know, we work on decreasing tension, opening the voice, all of these techniques. And you really have an actual experience within those 4 hours of what your voice is capable of. It's pretty phenomenal using these methods that I'm talking about here. So thanks for joining me. I will see you guys next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you train so that you take care of your voice. And I will see you soon. Thanks for joining me today.